Hey, what is up, everybody? Ross Cessna from Spiritual Phoenix Studios here, bringing you some live tarot card readings and trying out the new mic. Right? Um, if this is your first time tuning in, let me know and let me know how the sound is. Right? Super curious on how this all sounds on your end. So while I'm waiting for the chat to populate, I'm going to draw some cards. First card that comes up is transformation. Honestly, this is just about the personal transformation all of us can accomplish if we allow ourselves to be fully aware of our own journey, right? And this starts from self-awareness and it transitions from that. Sounds good, Mom? Awesome. Yeah, I really like the way that this is set up better, and I think that it'll work exponentially better. Yeah, I can pull a card for you, Judy. I got you. How are you doing tonight, Judy, by the way? Let's see. So, Judy, as far as the partnership thing, you got the Two of Cups. This is about partnership and attraction. So I would say that it's highly likely that love would be potentially in the near future. One of the things that I would say, though, and this is incredibly cliche, but I think that there's a lot of truth to it, is in order to attract love, you have to be deeply in love with yourself. And it's cliche, but I think there's a lot of validity to that. So hope that helps, Judy. Hang in there. Get some rest, too, if you're tired, right? Mom, do you want a card? Future of your relationship. Please, let's see what comes up. You have the Four of Bows in reverse. This is Four of Swords in traditional tarot, right? And this is about the need for caution. And also there's a sense of social unrest. So I would be very mindful about that. Also, fours are about stability. So when the four is in a reversal like that, you need to really question if the relationship is stable and if it's helpful moving forward. Yeah, Stephen, I'll pull a card for you. Then I got you, Mom. So, Stephen, you got the Eight of Cups. So eights are about change and cups are about emotions. So this is about maybe investing your energy in too many things and never being successful in one particular thing. And then also, what's the other word I'm looking for? Not having enough direction to accomplish anything. So you need to be a little bit more mindful and get some clarity on what you're actually feeling and thinking, right? Give me 1 second, then I'll pull a card for you, Mom. Let me change this message here. Okie dokie. All right. Oh, you're welcome. Rathika. Mom, you have the Two of Swords. So twos are about duality. Swords are about thought. This is about making a choice or kind of being stuck in a decision. And the way that I would put this is you're trying to decide kind of where you want to go or how you want to invest your energy. And this is just asking you to kind of sit and meditate on what might be best for you overall. Rather than what you think you should do or what you think other people want you to do. It's a matter of determining what is actually best for you. So while we're hanging out here, if anybody wants a card, feel free to ask a question. Happy to do that for you. What's the video quality like too, by the way? Because I'm streaming a different way yet again, and I'm curious to how this looks on everybody else's end. You're welcome, Mom. Hey, Mom, also, since you're watching, I was thinking rather than me coming back and picking up Renji, maybe we could go for a walk when I get done, and I can meet you at like the park and we can walk Renji. So I'm going to draw videos pretty good, Judy. I take it that's what you're saying. Cool, cool. All right. And then I'm going to pop this one up here. Donations are appreciated. I have a link in the description. And also, if anybody wants a longer reading, I also have a link to my Etsy below. I have a sale on my Etsy right now. It is 10% off of any of my Etsy readings. And then I also have live tarot readings, live Reiki, and Mystic Mentor coaching package. And all of that is available. And then I have links to my crystal store down below. I have all sorts of great links for you. Yeah, Max, I'll get a card for you too. Hey, thanks, Katrina. I appreciate that. So another general card that came up for everybody is the Shadow Oracle card. And honestly, this is about looking at some of the I don't even want to say darker aspects of ourselves because I think that that's associated with shadow often, but I think it's more so the parts of ourselves that we don't want to look at. Sometimes it can be good things, sometimes it can be uncomfortable things, sometimes it's shameful things. This is about addressing that and then like using that as a step up, because when you begin to channel all of the energy that you've repressed, by kind of tucking these things away and you begin to channel it consciously towards good things in your life, uh, you get a lot better results when you begin to free up that energy and use it wisely. How this year will work for you, that's a really big question to try to get answered in one card, Max. But I'll draw a card for you and see what comes up, right? So honestly, in terms of what you're asking, this is probably the best card to get there. So you have 20. This is Judgment, and this is honestly about absolution. And just to clarify what absolution is, this is about this deep sense of self-respect and self-appreciation and like integration of all of your lessons and self-forgiveness. So it's kind of actively processing every aspect of your life. So I had just shown the Shadow card, right? Absolution is kind of the result of that process, I guess. Formally looking at yourself in a deep way and accepting yourself unconditionally. Easier said than done, but well worth the effort, right? So I'm going to be on for at least another 24 minutes. So we are just hanging out right now and kind of having a chat. If you want a card, feel free to ask a question. One question per customer. Oh, Patrina, thanks so much for the $10. I appreciate you. And for that, I'm going to give you a reading. So $10 donation, I'll do about 5 cards and see what comes up for you. And Patrina, if you're cool with it, I'm going to do a mixture of tarot cards, and then I'll throw in some oracle cards too, all right? So one of the ones you have is the Page of Bones or Page of Wands in traditional tarot. Pages are about messages. Wands are about creation or motion. This card is about enthusiasm or discovery. So it's encouraging you to tap into some of your enthusiasm or your passion a little bit more and see where it leads you, right? And where is it going to lead you? You then have the 10 of Cups. So 10s are about completion, cups are about emotions. This is really about happiness and alignment. If you follow your passion, you will find more happiness and alignment. One of the big things, though, is a lot of us are afraid to follow what would liberate us the most because it challenges us to step outside of our comfort zone, right? The next card that you have, though, is the King of Bones or King of Wands. And this is on one hand, kings are about authority. Again, wands are about creation or motion. This is about using that enthusiasm and that passion to follow your vision and to learn how to profit from what you're passionate about. And that's what this is about in a big way. One of the other cool things about this card is if you notice the green of the alligator or crocodile, green's relative to the heart chakra. This is learning to channel your heart wisdom and kind of ride your heart in a big way. And getting good results from that. So I'm going to do you one more solid before I draw the 2 oracle cards for you. I'm going to give you a quintessence card, Patrina. Hey, what's up, Gina? How are you doing? So for the quintessence card, you add all of this stuff up. So you have 11 plus 10 is 21. 21 plus 14 is 35. 3 plus 5 is 8. That equals the strength card. The strength card is really all about obviously strength on one hand, but what type of strength? It's about inner strength and personal strength, sometimes even mental strength. And then it's also about courage. And courage is the ability to face difficult situations, know they're difficult, and carry on despite all of that. So that's a very powerful card. And it's honestly just saying, learn to channel your energy in a wise way and good things will come. So some other cards for you, Patrina. And just so everybody knows, Patrina's getting a incredibly detailed reading because she donated, right? And donations are rewarded. So you have freedom come up next. Freedom is obviously about like freedom, but the way this card is structured, if you notice the purple and stuff like that, this is more of spiritual freedom more so than the material concept of freedom. And honestly, when you can begin to liberate your mind in a big way, there's a different sense of freedom. And when you can begin to live from following your passion, or rather than avoiding pain or avoiding fear, that's a whole different type of freedom that most people never actually get to access. What's up, Dana? How you doing? Patrina, and this will be your last card, and I really do appreciate the donation, and it is forgiveness. And honestly, one of the big things that we forget is forgiveness that we give to other people is oftentimes more so for ourselves than it is for that other person. Yes, they can benefit, but carrying anger or carrying hate or carrying resentment is an incredibly difficult burden to bear, and it really poisons our spirit over a long period of time. So learning to forgive other people actually liberates you. And there's a saying, not practicing forgiveness is burning the bridge I too must cross. So it's asking you to practice forgiveness. And to tie all this up in a pretty little bow, Patrina, then I will get you, Gina. And then I will also grab a card for you, Dana. So just to sum all this up, if you forgive yourself and others, you will find a sense of freedom. That freedom can actually help you free some of your energy up so you can tap into your enthusiasm and your sense of discovery, which can lead to a sense of deep fulfillment and alignment. And then once you have that, you can begin to channel all of those ideas into different visions or different avenues of expansion. And you can channel that further into becoming an entrepreneur and learning how to profit from your dreams, right? So that's beautiful. Hope that helps, Patrina. And again, thank you so much. All right, Gina, I'm going to shuffle these up super quick before I move any further. And hopefully it's not too loud. Again, I don't know how it works with this microphone. I'm super stoked about it, but like I'm not 100% sure how it works. All right. Feel like you're in a rut. I think a lot of people are feeling that way right now. A lot of the clients that I work with have expressed similar things, so you're definitely not alone. But we'll see what comes up for you and see what kind of direction or insight I can give you. Okay. So, Gina, you have the Five of Pentacles. Fives are about adversity. Pentacles are about the material world. This card in particular is about insecurity, poverty, and worry. So it's kind of saying right where you're at, honestly. From what I can tell about being in a rut, there's a lot of stress going around, right? So one of the things that I would say about this card is if you look at the major arcana card that this is a fraction of, it would be the Hierophant. The Hierophant is all about connecting to spirit in a big way, and it is about following some kind of tradition or getting some kind of helpful ritual into your life. So your solution for that insecurity, poverty, or worry is going to be tapping into spirit, so like prayer and meditation, consciously asking for some help, and potentially even I shouldn't even say potentially, but also relying on the fact that everything will be okay if you let it. And sometimes situations come up in our lives or ruts come up in our lives to help shake us loose into something better, because sometimes what we're doing doesn't work. And the other aspect of that is the ritual aspect of the Hierophant. And that's just asking you to find a healthier pattern to get some better results, right? And Dana, you are next. Dana, do you have a particular question that you would like me to draw on? Let me drink my water real quick. Just a general card. Yeah, Esmeralda. I'll pull a card for you too. You're welcome, Gina. Okay, Esmeralda. I'm going to pull a card for Dana first because Dana has been here a little bit longer, and then I'll pull you. Dana, you got the High Priestess card. Honestly, High Priestess is really about mystery and intuition on one hand. Also, it's like the perfect representation of feminine energy. And just to clarify, I'm not talking about feminine energy in other way beyond like energetic connection. It doesn't have to do with gender or anything like that. Feminine energy typically is about being more passive and receptive too. So this is asking you to sit back and be more open to receiving. And although I know this isn't your first tarot reading, if this is somebody's first time like tuning into a tarot reading or something like that, I would add that the High Priestess card would indicate that this could potentially be a good path for you, and to explore that further. But Dana, for you specifically, I would say you need to trust your intuition a little bit more. And there's some mystery that you might have been looking for a sign for or something like that. Open up to it more, right? Let things unfold. Esmeralda, did you have a question in particular, or you just want to see what comes up? And also, Dana, thank you so much for asking for just a general card, because those are my favorite types of readings to do, right? I think that those are so much more fun and helpful than it is asking particular questions, because then you're letting the universe or God or whatever you believe is kind of working behind the scenes. You're letting that dictate what you need to hear. And I think that's a lot more helpful. Hey, what's up, Heather? I don't know if Heather's actually watching or not. Can't really see. General love card for you. Yeah, you sure can. You got the 10 of bones or 10 of wands. 10s are about completion. So this is like the end of some situation within the context of a relationship. And this is asking you to take some accountability or reassess a certain situation. So the accountability tip of it is, this is difficult for a lot of people, right? Part of it is understanding that you might actually be a part of the problem in some of your relationships and connections. And the reassessment aspect of it is looking at things in a different way and understanding that maybe we don't always have all the right answers, and maybe we don't see everything 100% accurately all the time. So that's kind of a heavy card to get, but there's a lot of power and freedom that comes from that. Hey, what's up, Lou? How are you doing? Would you like a card, Lou? It's interesting. I don't have it set up on this where everybody can see all of the different chat things that are coming in, but I have chats from Periscope and YouTube as well, right? And some of my other channels. So it's kind of cool to see how it all pops up. Hey, what's up, Amy? Would you like a card? I know you haven't asked anything yet that I can see, but I'll happily pull a card for you. Also, you, Heather, if you want a card. Come on, people. Don't be shy, right? I'm on here for another 13 minutes. Happy to pull cards for people. Some people ran. Yeah, I'll pull a card for you, Lou. Lou, you got the 3 of bows. This is 3 of swords in traditional tarot. This is the heartbreak card, and it is about heartbreak, separation, or grief in some aspect. And really, this can be, doesn't always have to apply to romantic relationships or anything like that. One of the things that I like to point out about this card that people don't often mention is swords are relative to the mind, right? And the heartbreak that we most often suffer isn't because of the external situations. It's because our mindset or attitude towards those external situations. And it really, really, really is because of how we think things should be and not accepting what things are. So you break your own heart, and that's the biggest trip ever. Like, there's so many times that I wish I knew that, because it's easy to say that somebody else broke your heart, but it was really your expectation of how that person should be and not seeing them for what they are. And I don't want to get too far off topic, but there's this whole analogy of the frog and the scorpion, right? So a frog goes to give a scorpion a ride across a river, and once the frog gets the scorpion across to the other side, the scorpion stings the frog, and the frog says, why did you sting me? And the scorpion says, you knew I was a scorpion. Like, that's what I do, man. I don't think he said it just like that, but you get the point. Okay. Amy, so the card that you have is the 8 of Pentacles. 8 is about change. Pentacles are about the material world. This is about education and engagement, honestly. So it's saying that right now, some of the big change in your life is going to come up from this sense of getting more knowledge about something, right? And it's interesting considering what we had talked about previously, Amy, that comes up for you. And the engagement aspect of it is becoming more engaged with the solution than the problem, and actually creating the change that you want. And Lou, like being disappointed. Yeah, like you break your own heart by your expectations. And if you didn't have your heart set on a particular outcome or thinking that things should be a certain way, you wouldn't get hurt so much, right? And that actually goes into one of the Buddhist concepts of non-attachment. And it doesn't mean so much that you don't have anything like possession wise. It means you aren't 100% committed to any specific outcome, and you're willing to see how life unfolds or unravels, just in general. Amber, I got you. I have Heather in front of you, Amber, then I will draw a card for you. And just so everybody knows, donations are appreciated. And if anybody would like to make a donation, the links are down below. I'm also offering a 10% off special on my Etsy right now. And I would be happy to hook you up with that. One other thing, one other shameless plug, right? I sell crystals. The link to my my website with my crystals and all that good stuff is in the description below as well. So at some point, I'm going to do like a live crystal display too and show what I actually have, or like the item of the week. You're welcome, Amy. Keep your head up, yeah. All right, Heather. This card came up again, Heather. The Eight of Pentacles came up again. And it's funny because it came up after I shuffled twice. That card already came up. Eight of Pentacles came up again, Heather. This is like the third or fourth time, even though I've shuffled it fairly well. So I'm not going to tell you the same thing that I literally just told Amy. I'm going to draw another card, but I think it's important to say that. Yeah, Rosamond, I got you. All right, Heather. Now we got some fresh energy on this, all right? You have the Ace of Pentacles. This is about manifestation and prosperity, and it's honestly saying that you're in a position of power to manifest or create what you want. To take this further, if you tie it back to the major arcana card that this is associated with, it is the Magician, and it is about power and action. And a big part of manifestation that a lot of people in the New Age community seem to forget to talk about conveniently is the part of actually taking action and creating that power by how we show up to life and the choices that we make. There's a big responsibility on our part to do that. So, hey, what's up, Mimi? How you doing? All right, Amber, I got a card for you. Amber, you have 7. This is the Chariot in traditional tarot. This is about control and willpower. And one of the things that I like to say about this is when you learn some level of self-control and you learn how to harness your willpower like wisely, that can actually control the complete direction of your life. And that's largely what this card is talking about, because it comes after the Lover's card, which on the esoteric side of things is actually about choosing vice or virtue. And if you choose virtue, then you apply control and willpower. You transition to the next card after 7, which would be 8, which is strength. And that actually helps you cultivate the inner resolve to go into the next card, which is 9, the Hermit, which is all about self-reflection and introspection. So this is actually an incredibly powerful card. It's just asking you to make sure that you're channeling your energy wisely and that you're using your willpower to the best of your ability. So, Mimi, I'm going to draw a card for Rosamond, and then I will pull a card for you. Lou, it is funny how that syncs up sometimes, right? All things fall in line if we're willing to pay attention. Rosamond, you have the 7 of Cups in reverse. So cups are about the emotions. 7s are about faith. This is about determination and decision. And it's honestly saying that you have to make a decision one way or another, and you have to be determined to make a choice. It's not telling you what choice to make. It's just asking you to do so. One of the things about this card that's incredibly important, if you look at this in this deck, it has this serpent. Serpents are symbols of wisdom. This person is actually afraid of the wisdom. Now, in traditional tarot, 7 of Cups is really about illusion and fantasy. So the way that I would take this for how I'm seeing it for you, you have to sort through the illusion and the fantasy, look at the truth of the situation as uncomfortable as it may be, Rosamond, and have the determination to make a decision regardless of if it's what you want to decide or not. I hope that helps. Yeah, Paulo, I got you after I hit up Mimi. And Mimi, give me 1 second, I'll pull your card. Mimi, you have the Ace of Bones or Ace of Wands in traditional tarot in reverse. And this is about procrastination or laziness. And I hate to say it like that, but that's just literally what it means. And it's saying you're not taking some action that you should be taking, and you need to step up and actually access your power. And again, this card is related to the Magician. And the Magician is all about power and action. But when the Magician is in the reverse, like this energy is, the energy of the magician is more so about destruction. And I would say this: destruction isn't always intrinsically bad. Sometimes it can be a great catalyst for change, but you're going to put yourself through a situation that you don't need to, if you would just take action. So that's what comes up for you, Mimi. Paulo, let me take a sip of my water, and then I will pull a card for you. Oh, you're very welcome, Rosamond. Really, honestly grateful to help you out. Okay. And Paulo, you got the Page of Bones in reverse, or Page of Wands. Pages are messages. Wands are relative to creation or movement. And this card, again, is kind of similar to Mimi's in the sense that similar but different. This is about passivity. So there's something where you're not taking action or not using your fire appropriately. And then it's also about not being inarticulate. And being inarticulate means you're not communicating clearly of something that you want. And honestly, in regards to metaphysics or life, right? So much of life is clearly understanding what you want. And I think that this inarticulation that's creating the passivity is more so you not clearly stating to yourself what you want or what you would like to achieve in life. And therefore you can't take action on it because you don't even know. So I would suggest that you take the time to sit down and have the conversation with yourself to get some insight into what would really make you happy and what would take your life to the next level. Because a lot of times we're chasing the quick hit of satisfaction, and we're not looking to the deeper core aspects that can make and that's what we need to look at, right? We need to resolve the deeper issues, not the surface issues. But often we're trying to get surface things to make the deeper aspects of us feel good. Hope that makes sense. So I got time for about one or two more. Anybody who hasn't had a reading yet would like one? Anybody? Bueller? Oh, you're welcome. Grateful to be of service, Paolo. Honestly, that's kind of how I view this in a big way. If I'm not getting tips, it's more so service than it is anything else. This is just a different way that I can do service to people. And it helps offset the fact that I charge for readings too, right? If I do service occasionally like this. So while nobody else is asking, I'm just going to draw a general card for everybody. I'm going to wait for one more person who has not had a card yet to ask for a reading. So I got time for one more, and I think there's one more person who needs something answered. Next card that comes up is grief. Honestly, a lot of us have stuff that we need to grieve, and I think as a culture or as like a planet, none of us have actually grieved 2020 and how it's kind of showed up in a big way. And I know for me, it's been something that's been potentially easier for me than for most people, but there's still a sense of grief and how difficult this is. And I don't think that grief is a sign of weakness or grieving is a sign of weakness. I think it's actually a sign of strength to have that emotional vulnerability. But I don't think we collectively have the understanding of how to process something that's been so devastating on like a global scale. So, and not just one particular thing, just the intensity of this year in general. So would anybody else like a card while we're hanging out? I saw Madeline just like this. Madeline, are you tuning in? Let's see. We'll wait for Madeline to see if she gives me a response. I will draw one more card. Joseph, I got you, bro. All right. Joseph. Oop, there was a double decker there. I'm going to go with the second card because this came up for somebody else already. You got the Seven of Pentacles. So sevens are about faith. Pentacles are about the material world. This is about having faith that you are investing some of your time and energy into something that will pay off, because Seven of Pentacles is about profit, vision, and investment. So make sure you're investing your energy and time wisely. Madeline, I'm going to pull a card for you real quick too. And Madeline, you're the last person I'm going to read for. Let me shuffle one more time. And Madeline, you have the Justice card in reverse. And the Justice card in reverse is honestly about injustice or prejudice. And I don't think that it means it in the way a lot of people would take that. I would take this as you might be a little bit critical of yourself and jumping to conclusions in some instances, and you might not be giving yourself or a situation a fair shake. So you might need to reevaluate it. I'm going to do you one more, Madeline, just because I know you like face to face, and you've got bought in readings from me before, so you get a little bonus, right? Next one that comes up is Sisters Healing. And it's saying if you've been a little bit critical of yourself and the Sisters Healing comes up, you might need to talk to some of the women in your life and have them correct some of your perspective. Or wherever this energy is showing up, you might need to talk to some of the women in your life and have them correct some of that perspective for you. Because you can put down the bat and pick up the feather, right? You don't have to be so hard on yourself. Whatever that's about, I don't know. Maybe it means something different to you than how I'm picking it up, but anyhow, I do want to thank everybody for taking the time to check this out. I will be doing these live readings every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time for about 30 minutes. And if it's really booming, I'll stay on for maybe an hour instead of the half hour. But anyhow, I just want to thank everybody. Hope you all have a blessed night. And if you need a private reading or anything like that, all of the information is in the description below. Thank you so much. Peace.